Andrew Moloney robbed in the worst decision in modern boxing history against Joshua Franco. Knuckleheads, welcome to the Fighters Rep, where we give you free fights, interviews, and fight commentary from the mind of a promoter / attorney. So we touched on this one just a little bit yesterday at Get It Right Saturday night. That's our live stream that we do every Saturday after the fights. And we went live after the Kell Brook-Terrence Crawford fight because that was the big fight of the night. But the co-main event, for me was the most impactful and upsetting and emotionally draining fight of the entire evening, including boxing and the UFC, because we had a very tough, very driven, very determined Andrew Moloney out of Australia, former WBA super flyweight champion, in a rematch against Joshua Franco, trying to reclaim his title from Joshua Franco, who took it from him in their first fight in a decision, and it was a good fight back then. But, the rematch that happened last night, it was going a little differently than the first fight. Moloney got off, and he got off quick. He landed 51 punches by the time the fight was stopped at the end of the second round, to Joshua Franco only landing 18. Now, I don't know what would have happened had they let the fight keep going, but the referee Russell Mora stopped the fight at the end of 2 rounds. Actually, it was the ringside physicians that stopped the fight, but the referee, Russell Mora, declared the result of the fight after it was stopped after 2 rounds as being a no contest. A no contest, stating that the injury that happened to Franco's eye was the result of an accidental headbutt. So, the world of boxing, including the boxers and every single fan that I've seen on my timeline since yesterday, sat back and watched the replay. And in Nevada, the Nevada State Athletic Commission is allowed to use replay, and they consulted the instant replay. And it seemed to me, and it seemed to the rest of the boxing world, that it was very clear that the swelling on Joshua Franco's eye that caused the stoppage was the result of a jab, one of several jabs that Andrew Moloney landed last night. Despite the fact that the fight was only stopped after 2 rounds, one of several jabs that Moloney landed last night, and not the result of a headbutt, as the referee Russell Mora indicated. So after stopping the fight, and referee Russell Mora rules it, a no contest, they still consult the instant replay, so you think, with them looking at the same thing we're looking at out there in TV land, out there at home, you think they're looking at the same thing Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley and Joe Tessitore are looking at, and you're hoping to yourself, man, I hope they overturn this decision, because it's clear as day. It is clear as day that this man's injury was the result of a legal punch and not an illegal headbutt. This should not be a no contest. This should be a TKO victory for Andrew Moloney, and he should be headed back to Australia with his WBA strap around his shoulder or around his waist or wherever he wants to wear it. 26 minutes later, or something to that effect, 20-something minutes, almost 30 minutes later, the Nevada State Athletic Commission comes back and they declare that the result will hold that Andrew Moloney will not be taking the title back to Australia. It is a no contest. And quite frankly, this no contest is the worst or one of the worst robberies and decisions in modern boxing history. And I want to explain to you guys why I'm taking that position, right? So first and foremost, and here are my reasons. First and foremost, Andrew Moloney landed 1,000,000 jabs last night in the course of 2 rounds. And we all saw from that replay that it was a jab that immediately resulted in the swelling of the eye. So Russell Mora got it wrong. You also had a guy in Andrew Moloney who apparently was away from his family for something like 4 or 5 months training for this rematch. Coming out here from Australia to represent his country. You know, no doubt made a ton of sacrifices to do this. And leaves home empty-handed in a situation where he should have gotten a win. He also loses out on a career and life-changing situation because he could have once again been champion. And that was ripped away from him from this completely incorrect, if you ask me, completely incorrect decision. Besides the fact that it was an incredibly high-stakes fight with a title on the line, which is why I find this decision to be one of the worst in modern boxing history. I think what takes it over the line for me, right, besides Moloney's sacrifices, besides the fact that there's a title on the line and the wrong guy took the title home, what takes it to the next level to me is the fact that instant replay was consulted here. We had the benefit of modern technology in the form of instant replay to make sure and confirm that the ending of the fight was correct. They spent almost half an hour looking at the instant replay, and they still got it wrong. And the reasoning, I want you to hear this reasoning. They said in our instant replay rules, they clearly state in the 3rd paragraph that unless there is clear and conclusive evidence that a foul did take place, unless we are 100% sure, the referee's ruling stands. So first and foremost, clear and conclusive doesn't sound like 100% sure to me. And I'm an attorney and a promoter and somebody who pretty much tends to understand the legal standards and legal jargon. Clear and conclusive evidence does not sound like 100% to me. But even so, even if it is 100%, after watching that replay, myself, Andre Ward, Timothy Bradley, Joe Tessitore, and every single person that I've seen on my timeline, with the exception of one person, with the exception of one single person, saw this as a technical knockout for Andrew Moloney. And the only person that I could find that thought the commission was correct was somebody that works on an athletic commission. I want you guys to think about that for a second. What does that mean? What does that mean? Why is it? Why is it that he would stick up for a decision like this? Does he genuinely have a different opinion, or is there something more? I don't know. I don't know. What I can say is they got it wrong last night. They got it wrong last night, and they put a dent in somebody's career last night, with all due respect to the Nevada State Athletic Commission. They put a dent in somebody's career last night that may not be able to be fixed. And Bob Arum went as far as to threaten to leave Las Vegas. And I think at his age, he probably really can care less where he does these fights. And I think if he acted on those words, there might be some changes made. Some necessary changes made. Knuckleheads, my question to you is, because I'm still looking for somebody else besides a commission member that thought that Russell Mora's headbutt ruling of a no contest should stand. My question to you is, does that ruling stand, or should it be overturned? And should Moloney be able to take that title home? Hit that subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation, the most educated fight community, the best fight community on YouTube. The only one where, as you support and subscribe and purchase items from the links below, we've got shirts, hoodies, masks, etc. Please get yours. The only channel where, as you do that and support, it's reinvested right back in to the best kickboxing promotion around, FightersRep Promotions. The only channel where you get to help us build a promotion with integrity, a promotion that doesn't mess with people's careers. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. Listen, human error is okay, but I think human error, when you couple it with a title being on the line and an instant replay situation where they still got it wrong, this starts to get scary, and this becomes maybe the biggest botched robbery of a call in the history of modern boxing. Let me know what you think.